Today we're going to talk about adding and editing feature codes in Solo Forest. I'll be using Solo Office, which is the desktop version of Solo Forest. It just makes it easier to record. It's almost identical to the Solo Forest that we have on the handhelds. So to add a new feature, you go to File and Feature Codes, and new feature obviously is what we enter when we want to do a new feature. So we'll click New Feature. Let's call it Tree. Now we select point, line, or area. Obviously, Tree would be a point feature. And if we click Display, we can change the symbol and we change the way this appears. So the default is this little square. Let's change it to something that looks a little bit more like a tree. Here's a green flag. That'll work. Click OK. And now it's time to add attributes. Each feature has to have at least one attribute. So to add an attribute, we'll click Add. Obviously, a good attribute for tree would be species. We can select text, number, menu, or date. We'll go with text because there's a whole bunch of different species, and I want to just limit it by having a menu. You've got a maximum length here. The default's 255. I generally leave that alone. It's way more than we'll need. Require valued every time is a box that we can check that will require whoever's taken this feature to enter this attribute. I like to leave this unchecked because there's going to be times that you just want to take a plot. There's not going to be anything important about it as far as attributes go, and it would just slow the user down to enter just some garbage there just to satisfy the computer. So I generally leave that blank. Click Finish and click OK. And now we see the attribute that we have, the feature code that we've entered, and underneath it we see the attribute. Let's go ahead and save. Click Save, and let's go ahead and enter another attribute for tree to demonstrate how we're going to edit. So we'll go to Edit, Tree, Point, Display. We're not going to change any of that, but here's our attributes. Let's add one, and let's call this one, let's make it Product. So we'll go Product, and instead of type, we'll do Menu. Menu will allow us to choose different things from a pick list or menu. So obviously we need a menu item, so we'll add one. We can make the default pulpwood. Add, and we'll go to add another menu item, saw timber. Oops. Saw timber. Select add and then add another menu item, pulpwood, saw timber, chip and saw. Add and add, and so that's enough that's enough there. So we'll click Finish, click OK, and you'll see that under Tree you've got your two attributes, which are species and product, and then you can click the little plus sign besides product, and it shows you the three selections. So we'll go ahead and click Save As. This is our feature files, forestry215.feature. Click OK. It'll ask if we want to overwrite. So yes, and we're done.